Kristen Keith here, joined with Armen Keteyian of 60 Minutes Sports. We're in New York City at the Forum of the State of College Athletics. How do you think the forum went tonight?
I think it went great. You know, Bob Bowlesby deserves a lot of credit for bringing this group together to discuss these topics. And, he put himself on the line. And I think it's time for this kind of forum to spark debate and to move a lot of things forward, at a time when the NCAA in college athletics are really trying to figure out what the future's all about.
What do you think the next step is?
Well, I think the next step is going to be determined in many ways by the courts and by the decision on autonomy for the Big Five, which I'm in favor of. This game is, and I mean college football, which is really driving everything, is moving so quickly in so many ways. The popularity, it's never been more popular. It's never been more competitive. There's never been more pressure. I mean, now with the college football playoff coming in January, and the stakes are just going to get higher and higher and higher. So I don't really know where it's going to go, but I do know that if they don't take care of the athlete-student that's at the heart of this whole enterprise, they're going to have problems.
What would you say to the rest of the student athletes who aren't in one of those major sports or who might be an Olympic student athlete?
I would say you are a vital part of an athletic department. You are valued by the athletic department. God bless you I was a college athlete. I played baseball at San Diego State. So, I was a non-revenue athlete. But the fact of the matter is, the football program is driving the train. And it's a very large train that pays for virtually everything. And if they don't take care of these football players, and I don't mean paying them, I mean full cost of education and health benefits and things like that, and making their life easier because they are the cornerstone of the entire athletic department, then I don't know where, it's like, guess what's going to happen?
Where do you stand on what Commissioner Bob Bowlesby said at Big 12 Football Media Days when he said, basically that it pays to cheat in today's society and with the NCAA right now?
Well, what I said in there was, and I've been covering the NCAA for 30 years, there's never been a better time to cheat than right now. And I have a lot of friends within the enforcement staff at the NCAA, many of them who are a bit disheartened at the moment because many of the most experienced investigators have left to take other jobs, compliance jobs and things of that nature. And the risk-reward ratio right now has never been more in favor of schools that are willing to risk to cheat to get the big name, big time, five-star athletes, because they are the difference makers for these programs. And when you think what one athlete can do for one program, Johnny Manziel, Exhibit A, generating tens of millions of dollars, is it worth the risk? And it is at this point in time.
These college athletes like Johnny Manziel, they're big business for these universities. Can athletes be seen as amateur athletes?
No, I don't think so. I think there's a different definition now. It's you're an athlete student. It's a commercial enterprise. Let's call it for what it is. I'm a big believer in college sport, but it's not amateur sport. It was amateur sport in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s and maybe a bit of the 80s. But right now, it's professionalized college sports. When you generate, have athletic departments generating $100 million, as Texas does or Alabama does, or you have ESPN paying $400+ million to televise, the two semifinals and the finals of the playoffs, that's not amateur sport anymore. It's big time sport.
What do you say to the student part of the word student athlete? How do you think universities can help their student athletes benefit from those scholarships?
Well, I think a lot of this falls on the student athlete. Look, you're going to get the benefits that 90% of the athletes or the students coming into this university don't get. You're going to have nutrition, you're going to have all the food you want to eat, you're going to have tutors, you're going to have study hall, you're going to have everything and anything you really want at your beck and call. If you don't take advantage of that, the system is going to use you to a certain degree. If you don't use the system to your benefit, that's on you. That's your fault. And I don't think the student athlete or the athlete student has understood that enough yet, that they can benefit from the system as much as the system benefits from them.
It's Armen Keteyian from 60 Minutes Sports. Thank you so much for being on the panel today.
Yeah.
Would you do it again?
Absolutely. Anytime, any place.
Stay tuned for plenty more on the Big 12 Digital Network.